wind in the forest was soft. If you listened patiently, you could hear the rustling of leaves brushing against each other and the whispers hidden in the golden patches of sunlight. Mimi the little white rabbit was very good at listening. He could hear the footsteps of insects crawling inside tree trunks, and he could hear the unspoken feelings behind the smiles of his friends. Lately, Mimi had noticed something different about Little Bear. He started leaving music practice early, and at the forest gatherings, he would stay for only a short while before quietly slipping away. He wasn't angry or sad. It just felt like there was something he didn't want anyone to see. Mimi didn't ask right away. He knew that some feelings couldn't be explained just by asking, "What's wrong?" So instead, he quietly observed, and one afternoon, he followed Little Bear from a distance. That day, Little Bear carried a small backpack and walked deep into the woods. He crossed streams, stepped over vines, and finally stopped at a little hill blanketed with soft grass. Mimi hid behind a tall tree and watched as Little Bear took out a tiny accordion from his bag, the one he loved the most. But this time, he wasn't here to perform. He sat down, lowered his head, and began practicing a song again and again. The notes jumped, got tangled, sometimes fell apart, and sometimes he had to restart the whole melody. He practiced over and over, completely focused. No one clapped, no one judged. So this is why he's been disappearing, Mimi thought. And in that moment, he understood. Little Bear didn't want anyone to see him when he was still not good at something. Little Bear was always praised for being great at music. But this time, he wasn't great not yet. He didn't want anyone to witness him being not enough. That reminded Mimi of when he first learned to jump. He only dared to practice when no one was around. He'd always say one more time, while quietly hoping, "Please, don't let anyone see me fall." That night, when Little Bear was packing up to leave, he saw Mimi standing under the tree and nearly jumped in surprise. "You? Why are you here?" he stammered. Mimi stepped forward, holding a leaf as if he had just been passing by. He smiled and said, "I wasn't spying. I was just worried about you. And when I heard you play, it felt like you were saying to yourself, 'I really want to do this well.'" Little Bear looked down, a little embarrassed. "I'm still not good enough. I don't want anyone to see me like this. What if I mess up in front of everyone?" Mimi sat beside him and gently patted his back. "That's okay. It's okay to be seen when you're not perfect. We like you not because you do everything perfectly, but because you are you." Little Bear looked up into Mimi's gentle eyes. They were like a little lantern in the night. Not big but warm. "But I'm really scared to be on stage," he admitted. Mimi nodded. "I get it. The first time I entered the jumping race, my ears were shaking before my feet even moved. But later, I learned something important. It's okay not to be perfect, as long as you're willing to keep trying. That's already brave." The next morning, Mimi brought a sketchbook to the hill. He planned to draw Little Bear's progress every day so he could see for himself how far he'd come. He drew his frowning face when the notes tangled. He drew the smile when he finally played a whole phrase correctly. He even drew the wind blowing through the grass while Little Bear kept playing, unbothered. Weeks passed. The forest animals prepared for the big music night. Crow practiced his soaring notes. Fox tapped rhythms with his tail. Even Shy Mole brought a small harmonica to join in. When it was Little Bear's turn to play, his feet trembled. The accordion almost slipped from his paws. But he took a deep breath and remembered what Mimi had said. It's okay to let the wind hear your mistakes. He began to play. The first part went well. The second had a small missed note, but he didn't stop. He kept going. What he played wasn't just music. It was a quiet journey of making peace with himself. When the last note faded, the entire forest held its breath for a second. Then came thunderous applause. Some animals even shouted, "That was amazing, Little Bear." Little Bear stood on stage, his eyes glistening, but he smiled, truly and peacefully. Mimi stood in the crowd, his eyes sparkling. That night, Mimi went home, opened his thick sketchbook, and on the first blank page he wrote, "Being truly great doesn't mean being perfect from the start. It means you keep going, even when you're still a little scared."